Welcome to the MSDS Copy session of the OEAA Secure Site training. In this session, we will go over the use of the MSDS Copy function on the Secure Site to pre-identify students for state assessments. You do not need access to MSDS to use this function. There are a few important things to know before using the MSDS Copy function. First, MSDS stands for the Michigan Student Data System. MSDS is the state system that districts submit student enrollment data and demographics from the fall and spring student count day along with the end of year student count. These are called general collections. Districts can also submit student record maintenance files, known as SRMs, outside of the general collections to update student enrollment and demographic information in MSDS. The second thing to know is that OEAA does not get access to the student count day data in MSDS for about 6 to 8 weeks after the count day. This is after the deadline for districts to submit and certify data and the review and quality checks have been completed by CEPI. If the district does not submit SRMs in between count days, your data may not be up to date in MSDS to use the MSDS Copy function. The third thing to know is that you will only be able to access students in MSDS that are enrolled in the district and school that you have access to. If you have school-level access, you will not be able to access students in other schools within the district to copy them into your school. The final thing to know is that nothing that you do in the MSDS Copy function will or can affect MSDS. The page will pull the data and copy it from MSDS into the Secure Site. The Secure Site does not send any data back to MSDS. Let's get started. Once logged into the Secure Site, from the Assessment Registration menu, click on Pre-ID and then Pre-ID Students. Once on the Pre-ID Student page, select MSDS Copy by clicking in the radial button. With the filters now displayed, select the ISD, select the district, and if you are a school level user, you will be required to select a school. If you are a district level user, you will not be required to select a school. For this demonstration, I'm going to select a school. Since students are pre-identified by grade, you will be required to select the grade of the student as they are enrolled in MSDS. If you are pre-identifying students for the fall early literacy and mathematics assessments, remember that the last count day prior to pre-identification would be the end of the previous school year. You will need to search for students in kindergarten that will be testing as grade 1 in the fall, and so on. If you are using this method to pre-identify students to the MyAccess or OEAA Alternate Access assessments, you may wish to select Yes for the Special Education in MSDS field. This will limit the returned students to those that are submitted in MSDS in a special education program. If you are pre-identifying students for the OEAA Access or OEAA Alternate Access, you may want to select Yes for English Learner in MSDS. You can also select Yes for English learners if you want to copy in the students that have taken the OEAA screener, if they have already been identified in MSDS as an English learner. Then you can go through and enter the OEAA screener scores to the student's record. If you use the special education and/or English learner filters, make sure to verify all students are returned in your search results. If a student is identified as special education or as an English learner in your student information system but has not been submitted in MSDS yet, the search results will not include the student. Once you have made your selections from the search filters, click on the search button at the bottom right. The list of students will be returned based on your selections and the current data available in MSDS. Also note that the Select Destination Information section has now opened. In the Destination Test Cycle field, select the test cycle for the appropriate assessment that you are going to identify the students to. Select the destination grade. based on the student's grade during the testing. For the spring assessments, it is almost always the same grade that you selected in your search. However, again, if pre-identifying for the fall early literacy and mathematics assessment and you search by kindergarten, you would need to change the destination grade to first grade based on the student's grade level in the fall. After you have selected the test cycle and the grade, the content box will populate with the appropriate contents. If you are pre-identifying students that will not be taken all of the contents in the assessment, you can deselect a content by clicking in the checkbox. This can be used for students that are taking some contents in MSTEP and others in My Access. Select the destination school based on the school the student will be testing. This will almost always be the same as the school that was searched. However, again, if a student is taking the fall early literacy and mathematics, was submitted in MSDS for kindergarten in one school in the district, but will be attending first grade in another school, this is the opportunity to pre-identify the student to the school for fall testing. However, you would need access in the Secure Site to both schools. If you do not select a destination school, it will pre-ID students to the school that you initially searched. The As of Date column at the far right is a great feature to try and reduce the list of students to those that may not have already been pre-identified. This is the date that the student was last updated in MSDS. Since OEAA pre-IDs most students based on the fall collection, you can use the filter on the As of Date column to easily identify students that were submitted after the fall general collection. You would enter the date of the collection, which you will know because most students will have that date displayed in the column. And then you will select the greater than field from the options. If new student enrollment have been entered from an SRM after the fall count day, which is in October, after applying the filter, only those students will be displayed. Select the students from the list by placing a check in the box to the left of the student's name. You can use the Select All or Unselect All buttons if they apply. Once you have selected the appropriate students, click on the Submit button at the bottom right. A note will come up that lets you know that the file has been created and loading to the Secure Site. Now to check the status of the file to ensure that it loaded without errors, on the menu go to Assessment Registration, Pre-ID, and then select Pre-ID File Upload Results. Select the test period from the drop-down that you just copied students into from the MSDS Copy function. Depending on your security, the ISD and district may already be populated. If it is not, select the ISD and the district and click Search. The page will refresh every 60 seconds. If the status of the file you uploaded is not showing as completed, you can check back later or wait for a few minutes for it to process. The length of time depends on how many files have been submitted. With the MSDS Copy, since this file is created by the Secure Site, if there are any errors on the file, please notify OEAA at mde-oeaa@michigan.gov to have it researched and resolved. This ends the MSDS Copy session for the OEAA Secure Site training. Thank you for watching, and feel free to send any questions, comments, or suggestions to mde-oeaa@michigan.gov or call 877-560-8378.